Today, we dive into the complex and often controversial story of AFL star Willie Rioli. From a significant drug suspension that sidelined him for 2 years to a recent explosive social media post targeting the Hawthorn Football Club, Rioli's journey has been anything but quiet. So let's break it all down. Our story begins back in September 2019. Willie Rioli, then a key player for the West Coast Eagles, was provisionally suspended by the AFL and ASADA, the Australian Sports Anti-Doping Authority. The reason? Allegations of a failed drug test. The details that emerged were quite startling. Rioli was accused of substituting his urine sample during a routine drug test. Later, he admitted to not only this, but to also smoking marijuana with teammates the night before the test. He confessed to attempting to swap his sample with a clean one, reportedly involving a bottle of Gatorade. This incident sent shockwaves through the AFL community. Rioli was a young, talented player with a bright future, and this was a significant setback to both him and the West Coast Eagles. What followed was a lengthy review process. It wasn't until March 2021, almost a year and a half later, that the AFL Anti-Doping Tribunal handed down its decision to Rioli. He received a 2-year suspension. However, this ban was backdated to the initial sample collection in August of 2019. The backdating meant Rioli was eligible to return to training in June 2021 and crucially could play AFL again from August 20, 2021. Many expected him to slot straight back into the Eagles lineup. But the story doesn't end there. In the further twist, just a month after his AFL ban was lifted, in April 2021, Rioli found himself in trouble with the law. He was arrested at Darwin Airport for possessing 25 grams of cannabis. He pleaded guilty to this charge in May 2021 and was placed on a 12-month good behaviour bond, thankfully avoiding a conviction. This second incident raised further questions about Rioli's future in the AFL. Despite these significant off-field issues, the West Coast Eagles initially stood by Willie Rioli. However, in October 2022, a significant change occurred. Rioli requested a trade away from the Eagles, and his request was granted. He found a new home at Port Adelaide and has been playing with them since the 2023 season. Fast forward to more recent times, and the controversies surrounding Rioli haven't entirely disappeared. In May 2025, just a few weeks ago, he was fined by the AFL for striking a Western Bulldogs player during a game. Following this, private messages he sent to a Western Bulldogs player were interpreted by some as threatening. While Port Adelaide considered the matter resolved after Rioli apologised, some commentators felt the incident could have warranted a suspension under different circumstances. The AFL also stepped in to remind both clubs about the importance of respectful communication. Now, this brings us to the most recent chapter in the Willie Rioli saga, which unfolded in April 2025, following Port Adelaide's gather-round victory over Hawthorn. Rioli posted a story on Instagram that quickly gained attention and was just as quickly deleted. In a post which included a video of him seemingly taunting Hawthorn player Changuth Jiath during the game, Rioli wrote, "Play with fire, you're going to get burnt. My hatred for this club goes way past the last year's antics. What they did to my dad and my brother is why I can't stand them, not the players." This post was loaded with emotional weight and referred directly to deeply sensitive historical racism allegations surrounding the Hawthorn Football Club. The brother Rioli mentioned is his cousin, Cyril Rioli, a former Hawthorn champion who was a key figure in the lawsuit against the club, which was settled in late 2024. Willie also referenced what they did to my dad. His father, Willie Rioli Sr., who is now passed, was drafted by Hawthorn back in 1990 but never played a senior game, adding another level of personal history to the situation. Understandably, Rioli's inflammatory post ignited a significant reaction. Tragically, in the aftermath, he was subject to a barrage of racist and homophobic abuse online, in a move that highlighted the toxicity of social media. Rioli shared some of these vile messages on his own account before ultimately deleting both the original post and deactivating his social media entirely. Port Adelaide responded to the situation by acknowledging Rioli's deep-seated pain in relation to the Hawthorn issues. However, the club publicly stated that social media was not the appropriate platform to express such strong emotions. They granted Rioli personal leave, but he returned to training relatively quickly and was available to play in their subsequent match. So there you have it. A look at the turbulent journey of Willie Rioli. From a significant drug suspension that threatened his career to the recent emotionally charged social media clash with Hawthorn, it's a story that highlights the complexities faced by athletes, the impact of past grievances, and the often toxic nature of online interactions. What do you make of Willie Rioli's journey and the recent social media incidents? At the time of making this video, the AFL is still mulling over a potential suspension to Rioli. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.